state your name to the camera and your rank and what part of the military you served in?
Okay. I was a staff sergeant in the military on a big bomber, and I was a tail gunner on a bomber on the 8th Air Force in England. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's the start of my story.
You didn't say your name.
Staff Sergeant Melvin Tucker is my name. What do you want me to talk about?
Well, I mean, you
a bunch of questions.
you served in England, you said?
Yes, in England, yes.
And you were a tail gunner?
Tail gunner on a bomber.
Dwayne, I was talking to Dwayne earlier, and he said you flew on 13 missions.
Yeah, I was on 13 missions. Got shot down over Munich, Germany on my 13th mission.
Your last one, unlucky 13.
Unlucky 13.
Yeah.
I was in prison 13 months, so that's a bad month, 13. You know, really.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll talk about my last mission, okay?
Yeah.
That's probably what you want. What do you say?
I was just going to say, he wanted to ask you some questions. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, talk about your last mission.
Okay, I became a tail gunner when I went into the service in different places. I had to go to different schools to training several times. Finally, I ended up at one place that I didn't know I was going to be as a bomber. I didn't even know it. And I went to one place to give me an examination. He said, "Buddy, you can almost see backwards." And I guess I could. Then I could. My eyes seemed like they almost behind me. He said, "You know what you're going to do?" I said, "What?" "You're going to be on a bomber." "What do you think of that?" I said, "Well, I don't know about that." You know. And boy, it wasn't long till they went to different schools and they needed me bad. You know. And before I knew it, they put me on a bombing crew and issued a brand new B-17. Brand new one. Said, "You're in this group right here." So there was 10 of us. So we got together and started doing our training in one of those, you know. And first training was going up in another plane, though, first. And they had a turret on that thing that you could move around. And I went to this one airfield, and we seen a great big bunch of smoke over here. "What in the world is that?" I said, "Well, the other crew went up. That's where they are. They died, every one of them." What do you think of that? Oh, boy. So I went up with them and got through it okay, all right. On that, I did a lot of flying, a lot of shooting. I tell you, I did lots of skeet shooting. You ever do that? Skeet? Where they throw up a pigeon?
Oh,
boom.
right, yeah.
Well, they put me and the rest of the guys in the back of a pickup truck, and they drove around this big area about 30 miles an hour, and every once in a while they'd shoot one out, a pigeon, and we had to train to do that. I come up like this. They said, "How come you do it that way? You go down like that." "No," I said, "that's the way I do it." And I did a lot of hunting, and boy, I could knock them things off this is easy. Going 30 miles an hour. Did real good. Boom, boom. At the end of the day, though, my arm really got black. You know, where I've been hitting so much. It's real sore. I did that for a whole week. Yeah. And so after that, they put me on a little machine gun where it shot out pellets real fast, like this. I did all that, just trained. And then I'd go to another school. I had to train to do sightseeing of airplanes and know what they were right away. Bing, bing. What enemy it was. I could tell by what it looked like to me, you know. I had trained to do that. So did all the training. And then we went out in the Rattlesnake Bomber Base in Coyote, Texas. And we trained down there in the fields. They had aircrafts built out of wood, different places. We'd come in and we'd go at them with down low and fire at them. Boy, that was fun. But boy, I tell you, that B-17, was like a Bronco. Went down low. It's for high flight. It was going like this. You'd hang up. Oh, got so sick one day. I took my parachute off, tailed it off, and I said, I don't care if you crash this thing. I'm sick. I'm sick. And the waist gunner, he was vomiting in his helmet. But we had stuff like that, you know. Anyway. But that was fun to do. You could do a lot of that, and we had a lot of fun. And I was anxious. Boy, I'm ready to go. I feel like good enough. He said, nope, you ain't ready yet, buddy. So they give us about 6 more months of training and paperwork and going to school and studying and studying and studying. Finally, the day came. Okay, guys, you're ready. So they issued this brand new B-17 bomber, and we flew to Nebraska and stayed there overnight. And I had to guard the thing inside. We carried 45 pistols up here, you know. And I was out there that night, one night. We only stood one night. And pretty soon I heard somebody walking up to the thing. I pulled that baby out like this. And he opened that door and scared him to death. Oh, I was ready for it. You know, so then next day we started out. We flew to Newfoundland. Boy, it was wintertime, cold. And man, it was so cold, it was 30 below zero. And we had to put heaters on those big engines, 4 engines. You know, and we stayed there overnight, and then next morning it was hard to get going because everything was camouflaged. You couldn't even hardly see it, but we got away. We took off at night. We flew across the Atlantic at night, and you flew low over the ocean. You could see the glittering water down there. You knew it was close.
Under radar?
Yeah. And what happened before we got there is one of the guys was sleeping in the Bombay. And the switch to the tank where you switch over to the fuel, he hit that with his foot and the fuel started going out. Really. And we got there pretty close, and the pilot says, what happened to our fuel? It's gone. We got enough for about 15 minutes, and we're not there yet. We was there close, but they didn't shoot no flare up for us to see it. And we circled around, and he said, boys, get your parachute on. Let's go. At night, and I'm jumping out at night, don't know where I am. Well, that was something.
Still above the ocean? The
Oh, above the ocean, yeah, still up there. And we knew we were close. And just before, I guess we'd had maybe 5 minutes to go, and we seen the flare come up. Big flare. He said, now I see it. Tell me, he went down, had all camouflage, and there it was, landed. Boy, that was a jolt. You know that? Get knocked down before even getting battle. Yeah. Okay, so what we didn't know is something that hurt us bad. They didn't give us our airplane back. We were 2 greenhorns. They gave it to another crew that was been in battle already, you know. They gave us an old plane. We called it Nobody's Darling. Nobody wanted it. It was just an old plane that they had to do scouting in, you know. But that was a shocker. I liked my little aircraft, you know. Really liked it. All brand new. We had it. One guy worked at where you make different things. What was the name? What was their names?
Curtis Wright?
No.
McDonald Douglas?
A company that they made different pictures. What is the name of that?
Disney?
Disney World. He worked for Disney World. they did a lot of painting. He did all, and he painted our. He spent hours and hours of painting our plane up. Your name was on there on the tail guns, Jeannie and Emma had her on there, and they all had their ladies' names on there and all that. And the name of the ship was Black Jack and the 10 Thieves. You know, we were 10 people. Yeah. And so, well, we hated to lose that, but we did. Then we finally started our missions. The first mission went over across, we landed in England, and we crossed France, our first mission. You had to go just a little ways, 30 minutes, and there and back. We went over there, dropped our bombs, come back, and boy, I said, this is nothing to this. This is something. All I had to do is get 25 missions, and I come home, you know. But I looked at the airplane when it was out over, and there was a hole that big, right about 2 inches from my head, that big around, where a piece of shrapnel went through there. And if it was down lower, it got my head and blowed it off, you know. Really. Ooh, didn't look too bad, you know. So we kept on. The second mission wasn't too bad. Third mission, this looked bad. Here the guys come. One guy came up to me, a German soldier. I'm in the tail. He come up on the right side of me, and he pulled up just out of my reach. So I could see he has stops on these machine guns. And I turned it around. I couldn't get it over there to him. He looked at me, and I looked at him. Just plain as you and me. And boy, I tried to, and boy, he flew away. But I was just trying to I could have got him easy, because he's right over there, see. But he's smart. He knew what he's doing. And when I kept going, he looked like that away. Just come up and look me over, you know. And then I said, I'm in war. I know I'm in war now. I can see the guy. And he made me mad. You guys shoot at you, it makes you mad. You know that? And I had a few words for him. Yeah. Okay, everything going good. Going good. Went up to the next mission, 12th, 13th. The 13th mission. I told my mechanic that comes out with us, I said, here, I took my billfold out. I said, if I don't get back today, you give this billfold to my wife and get all my clothes and send them to her. You know. And I had a funny feeling. I really did. And so we took off. Everything was fine. Going up and Munich, Germany. We were headed for Munich, Germany to bomb a ball bearing plant. You know. And everything looked, boy, I mean, we saw this. They were really trying to get us. That flak was up there, you'd almost walk on it, you know. And pretty soon the pilot says, he's up there flying, he looked up to his right, said, guys, look at them guys up there, a whole bunch of them. I mean, I don't know how many there were. Lots of them. Airplanes, keep an eye on them guys, we don't know who they are. Pretty soon they went up into the sun. In fact, that's the sun there. And he said, here they come. He said, here they come, guys, give them hell. Or they go right, come down on us. They'd pick out one plane and it'd work them over. And that one plane must have had 20 millimeters, I don't know what it was, but they were hitting us. They could hit us every time. The old plane was just jumping like this. And what happened, they went into the front of us like that, killed the pilot and co-pilot right now. And one of the guys, well, I'm still back in the tail. I called him on the intercom and said, where you guys at? Nothing, just dead silence. He done shot him up, see? Nobody to answer. Well, I got scared. And I'm still firing at them guys, you know, coming by. And I noticed they were coming by at a certain, seemed like it was the same place. So I turned my thing around like this, and I set both of them guns on. I turned them both on. I went like that. And I know I hit every one up, because they're going right over like that. I knew I didn't miss them. But I had both of them going. In a few minutes, I'm done. I know ammunition's gone. shooting 8 to 900 rounds a minute. Both guns are going at the same time. And I was going like this with it, you know. So I don't know. But anyway, about that time, I looked up over my shoulder, and it was full of smoke, full of fire coming at me. And I guess pretty soon I seen bodies flying by my face. I looked up in the front, and they kicked the door open. They couldn't get the door open. They finally got it open and kicked it open, and they heard jumping out. And we had 10 in there. 5 of us got out. 5 of them did. The whole pilot got killed. The top turret gunner on top, he got killed. He's on the head-on attack, see. And the ball turret was still down there. I'll tell you a story about the ball turret. I was a ball turret gunner, supposed to be. But I got a little bit heavy, and it got kind of heavy on me to try to move around. And so we turned it over to Tommy Flores, his name. He was a little guy with a kind of like accent, kind of foreign type, Mexican type person. He said, "Oh, I like it in here. This is great." So he got it, but he didn't get out. They were supposed to crank him out if they got in trouble. Because what happened, the hydraulic system, or electrical system, got shut out. Because they were coming down like this, and they were going right through the people up there, down through the ball turret. And he didn't get out. First thing I asked them guys, did you get Flores out? No, we didn't have time. It just kind of blew up almost. So, here I am back there by myself. Never jumped before in my life. Never. In fact, the guy that issued my parachute, he said, "Buddy, don't worry about it. If it don't work, I'll give you another." How about that? You're a funny guy, huh? Yeah. Anyway, here I am up here by myself. I looked out. We're flying at 22,000 feet. Do you ever look down at 22,000? That's a lot of miles, buddy. Oh, yeah. And tell you. And so I opened my little red hook here you undo, and the door fell away then. Here I'm out there about that big, just big enough to get out. And I had a back parachute on. See, I can't mess with mine. Because when they jump, if it's messed up, they can fiddle around all they want to. It's got plenty of time at 22,000 feet. And they can open it up. Mine's on my back. I jumped out of there, spinning like a top. I never did this before. It's my first time. I pulled that parachute like that, nothing happened. Pulled it again, nothing happened. I pulled it a third time, nothing happened. I can't get it. What am I going to do? You know, what would you do?
Start praying.
Yeah, I start praying.
Boy, you talk about praying. This is true now. I went like this, screamed, said, "God, if you open this parachute, I'll go to church every Sunday." I didn't say that. I really did. Honestly. Pulled it again, it opened. And what it did, it sounded like a shotgun going off. Boom! And then, boy, stopped me like that. It stopped me so quick. I fell so far that the big heavy flying boots came clear off my feet, both of them. All I had is moccasins on. Yeah. And I tell you, and boy, it's wonderful to jump. God, I wouldn't do it again, I don't believe. But anyway, you feel like feel good. It feels so good. Feel like a bird. You just stopped. You stopped in air, but you're going at 145 miles an hour to your death. You don't know that. It's so big, see? And finally it opened. Boy, I'm just sitting out there. Oh, it was so wonderful. Everything was real quiet to me for some reason. My ears must have been stopped up, but I didn't hear nothing. Just quiet. But as I came down, just after I jumped, the plane blew up, and the heat from the fire was burning the paint off of the aircraft. It was water. No, it wasn't water, but it was steel. steel was on all my legs. You know what color aluminum is? It was made out of aluminum. Okay, my legs are all aluminum. That's how close it was when it blew. And boy, there I seen it come down. Me holding my what do you call it? Oxygen in the hand. I jerked down. I still got it in my hand. And here it coming all around me. There it goes down. Just barely missing me. I jumped just in time, really, to be honest with you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. God took care of me, I think. Really. I'm serious. And I sure go to church, too. But normally, I'm now up there now. I still, yeah. He lets me know about it. You know. Come around, buddy. Yeah. But then, as I coming down in my parachute, I look down, I see the ground, and before you know it, the earth didn't go down. It come up and hit me in the face. Whoop, like that. And knocked me out. I don't know how long I was out, but it did knock me out. And I probably would have had a chance to get away if I knew how long, because then nobody come around me, I guess. I don't know how long it was. I might have been there a half an hour. I don't know. You know. But I finally came to, and I looked around, didn't see anybody, and boy, I jerked off my parachute and I took over. There was a big forest over there. I was going to hide in this forest. And I started running up the hill. I heard somebody shooting, and I started going like this. And boy, he was just barely missing me. The ground was kicking up with dust all around me. Boy, and they were really pounding away at me. and I stumbled over a big rock and fell flat on my face. Boy, I laid there, and the old heart was just pumping like that. So I raised up real easy and looked around, and there was a kid over there on one leg. Down on one knee, had the rifle on me like that, you know. And he had, you think he'd hit me by now, but he didn't. See, he wasn't supposed to hit me. Maybe he was supposed to just capture me, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I stopped right down. The first thing he said was, "Pistola! Pistola?" No pistola. Opened my jacket. We had 45s, but they took them away from us. Told us we couldn't have them no more. So it was a good thing that I didn't have a gun on me. See, probably saved me. Yeah. Anyway, pretty soon the old guy come up. The old man and the old farmer guy, he grabbed me and he started kicking me in the rear, knocking me down. And finally he talked in German. I couldn't speak German. And he says, in other words, he told me, pick up your parachute, more or less. I understood what he said about that. And every time I'd take a step, he'd kick me again. And down I'd go. And pretty soon I got pretty teed off at him. He had the rifle right here on my forehead. And he didn't know it, but I could handle him easy. I could get rid of him, you know. But the kid out here on the knee, I couldn't take him easy out of my reach. But I took care of the old man easy enough. It was a good thing I didn't, probably. I wouldn't have been here, you know. Yeah. Okay. In that, finally, what happened, a soldier came by, a corporal or something. He knocked the old man away and he says, "My prisoner." You know, otherwise the old man still working me around, see. So there I am, a prisoner now, and I walked up and there's my buddies. They'd done jumped out a long time ago. They done had them all counted, you know. And they marched me over to, they marched me through a little town. Boy, everybody turned out like a parade. They all, both sides. Boy, they was tickled to death. The little kids run up to me and throw rocks at me, spit on me, and I'd look at them like it. Boy, they'd take off, you know. And some of the officers got pretty nasty, and boy, I thought they was gonna kill a couple of them, the officers, you know. And they were knocking us around. Finally, they took us up on a big hill, a great big building, and put me in a building by myself, one room, and it's about a 12 by 12, and by myself. And every once in a while, boy, I was just tired. You talk about tired. Wore completely out. There's a bed there. And I lay down in that bed, as soon as I could, and I laid there, and pretty soon I'd get pretty comfortable, and here they come bursting in the door and asking me questions, and they jerked me up, said, "Where are you flying from?" "Sorry, sir, I told them we couldn't tell them anything. I leave you my name, rank, and serial, so I can give you." And they had me so used to that, what I was supposed to say, I didn't have to shoot me because I wasn't going to talk.
Wow.
I wouldn't talk. No. And so finally, they sent another guy in. Boy, I was just dying for thirst. Didn't have no water. And he had a bottle of ale in his hand. Real nice guy with a map. He talked real English to me. And he said, here, I know you need this. Boy, I grabbed that thing and whoa, that tastes so good. He says, "Now tell me where you're." "Sorry, sir, can I tell you? Name, rank, cell number. All I can tell you." I did that several times. And finally, after several hours, the main guy come in and looked at me and said, "Oh, fuck. Forget him. He ain't saying nothing." So they let me alone there. Oh, they did the rest of them, same thing. Didn't say nothing, I guess. I didn't know if they did, but anyway. They put us marched us out again to a transport. What would you call a train pulling the stock cars, what they were. Flatbed or completely covered, but it had straw in there. He throwed all those in there. All those were, some of were legs hurt, all cut up, bad shape. There's a piled us in there and took us away. And what we would do, they'd sit there till night and then they'd take off. We was on there 3 days and 3 nights, flying somewhere. We didn't know where it was going. And they'd let us off to go to the bathroom. And the women, all women were running the thing. We had to go to the bathroom right in front of the women. They had grins on their face, Yeah. But then that's what happened. Anyway, we finally got there. Krems, Austria is where it was. They marched us up through Krems, and our place was at, it was named Stalag 17B was the name of our place. Big place. Had a lot of people there. Lots of flyers. There's all flyers. We were all sergeants, staff sergeants, the whole bunch, whatever. And as we was going in, I heard one of the guys say, "Hey, Mel, I knew you'd be here sooner or later." One of my friends, Yeah. So it made me feel a little better, Some of my buddies were there. But that was pretty rough. Yeah. Food was terrible. He had 2 little potatoes, about like golf balls, like that, and a dish of what was that stuff?
Some kind of pea soup, you said?
Some kind of soup.
Beans?
Barley soup. Barley soup, I guess is what it was. That's what our menu was every day. Once a day. The U.S., or the Salvation Army, one of them, Red Cross, shipped us a shoebox, size of a shoebox. It was for each person, which was fine. There's a pack of cigarettes in there. I didn't smoke, but that was like gold. Trading material. Really good. Okay, but it didn't happen. It didn't last long. Next trip, the next month, we got a shoebox for 7 men. 7. You had to divide it up for 7 men. That's all we got, plus the potatoes and the soup, barley soup, And we was hungry all the time, really, to be honest with you. But what we did, the Russians had their compound next to us. They had a roof over about that high, barbed wire, real close together. barbed wire, and then out from barbed wire about 18 feet, you had another barbed wire about this tall. And it had a sign on it. Step over the wire, you will be shot. You know. So what we did, when we needed something, food or anything, whatever, we'd trade with the Russians. And the Russians and the Germans, they didn't see. We were joined with the Germans. What act was it? Can't you help me out a little bit? They had an act that they got together that they would treat you decent in a prison camp. Okay.
A pact?
Yeah, a pact together. But they didn't have it with the Russians. Okay. And they shoot the Russians just like shooting anything. We'd throw a pack of cigarettes over there, and if it didn't go quite over the big fence, they'd step over the little fence. They had the same thing over there. Wham! Once in a while they'd shoot them. Some guys wouldn't. Some of them soldiers wouldn't do it. It's funny to watch somebody like this, just reaching over, trying to get back, you know, because that was something they had. It's like money. You could do anything with them cigarettes. They gave, even the guard could be, you know, tempted with that too. In fact, there's one guy that had so many cigarettes, he got out of there. Yeah, wow. One guy, he did get away.
It was like gold.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were worth $25 in that big city of next to.
Munich, Germany, you talking about?
No, I was in Austria.
Austria.
There was Krems, Austria, and then a big, you know, the big Austria town. What was the name of it? Well known everywhere. Famous.
Not Leipzig.
Huh?
It was Leipzig.
No,
I can't think that.
Where's my book at? It's in there anyway. Yeah, it's in there.
Is it in there?
Well, that takes time to find it, you know, probably. But I'll think up pretty soon before it's over with. Anyway, they finally decided the Russians were were coming toward us from this Munich. The big town I'm trying to think about is coming from. It doesn't took that town over. The Russians were coming. But every night we could hear the bombs, the big guns going off. You could hear them. You see the bright lights flashing up every once in a while. And kept getting closer and closer, and finally got so close that the Germans got us out of their tents, out of our camps, and put us all together and marched us out of there. We were about 200 a group went, and another group 200. Well, probably several thousand. I think it was about 3,500 there, I believe. All going that way from the Germans, from the Russians. They were scared to death of the Russians, I heard, you know. And so we went down through the mountains. No food. We were very little food we could stick in our pockets where we were. And on the way we'd stop overnight. We'd go all day. And then when it got dark, we stopped right there and laid down what we had on, just with our clothes. My wife sent me a knitted sweater, real heavy knitted sweater, and I wore that next to my body with a shirt on, and I could lay down in any place, pasture, alfalfa field, the water all over you, didn't bother me a bit. The other guys got sick. But when she sent that, I sent a letter back. I said, I wish you'd send me some food. You know, I did say that. But later on, it saved my life, I guess, really. Oh, yeah, I was just warm as could be with that big heavy, it was a heavy sweater. Whatever happened to that, I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, finally in 18 days, we went 300 miles. 18 days. Drinking creek water, we're doing whatever we can, stealing stuff along the way. I remember one little town we went through. There's several ladies in one big house, had the window open. And I'd seen him with great big loaves of bread, slice it off like that, throwing it out to us. We grabbing it. And finally, one of them old German guards seen it, and he made her stop. You know, yeah, but you can see their face, their expressions. They felt sorry for us. They were good women, you know, really, and they were trying to help us out. That's all I was doing. But okay, they put a ring of guards around us in that big evergreen forest, and boy, we started stripping the barks off the forest and making wigwams and things. We made us a wigwam, a big one, like this, like Indians. And we had a picture. I got a picture somewhere. Anyway, that's how I lived. The other guys made little log cabins. Yeah. And where we got the stuff to do, I don't know. But we got different ones had different things, you know. So we was there 7 days. One morning I woke up trying to get the fire going, and we looked like black people because we had that green wood and it smoked all over us, you know. And anyway, I heard a big noise. People hollering and screaming, you know, really, what in the world? I went out there, and there's a big old General Patton's tank sitting there. General Patton wasn't there, but his crew, some of his crew was. And they were coming through there really knocking the heck out of them guards. And they'd say, USB, throw that gun down. And he knew what he was talking about. And he'd go and kick him, knock him down. The gun, as soon as they dropped the gun, we grabbed them. Every one of us got to have a gun, you know. And the only guy that had a little pistol, the higher rank you are, a little bitty pistol, you know. And I didn't have the nerve to even get his for some reason. He just looked, you know, didn't feel like I should do it. I don't think he wanted me to do it. Anyway, but we all got plenty of guns, plenty. And we went down through the woods. We knew where we were. We seen a big house over there. So that's where we went. There's 8 of us together, I believe. 8 of us got together. And so we went over to this house. And one of the guys, he got out of the thing like I did. He could speak German fluently, really. So he went up to the house and talked to this lady. No food, no food. Real mean looking, you know. And I'm back down here. I didn't steal nothing, you know. I looked over there, and out there was a chicken field, chicken house, and a bunch of chickens. And I said to myself, boy, I see some chickens. I grabbed me a stick, and I went over and started knocking heads together, and they seen that, and here they come, all of them. And we got so many chickens, we didn't know what to do with all of them. Yeah, we did. So we took them chickens down, and then they got the nerve, and after that, they went downstairs and entered the cellar where they keep their fruit and stuff, and they got all kinds of things. Carried them all out. So we went down into in the creek, and we seen an old rusty milk can, you know, like we had at home. We took that milk can, washed it out with running water, took some gravel, and just cleaned it, really cleaned it, scrubbed it out real good, filled it full of clean water, boiled that stuff. We throwed all them cans of chicken we cleaned, throwed all them chickens, cut them all up and everything, throw the mushrooms in there, whatever we had, just put the whole thing together. Boy, we had a 5-gallon tub, whatever that was, big, full. And we cooked that son of a buck over a fire, and cooked it and cooked it and cooked it. So then, boy, we had a feast. Boy, we all ate like pigs. But boy, we'll be sorry. We hadn't had any food. Oh, you talk about getting sick, buddy.
Oh, my.
That's right.
Going at both ends, buddy. I tell you. Wow, we were sick. Anyway, by that time, the Red Cross. Now, let's say, no, the tent. They set up tents. The Salvation Army, I guess, whatever it was, it comes in. You know, the Red Cross thing on there. And on my hands and knees, I crawled back up the hill there to where that tent was, and there was a doctor in there. He looked at me, and I told him, I says, I know what you want. So he got me got me some pills. They gave me 12 pills with a drink of water of each one of them. I drank 12 glasses of water, and boy, I tell you, that stopped me for a long time. It really took care of me, you know. And by that time, we was all getting feeling better because we got food and everything. And they sent a transport out, a transport plane, and we all got in that and flew to France. And there in France, we picked up a big aircraft boat, big boat, great big boat. A lot of us on there. And they headed us back to New York. And boy, I tell you, on that thing, we got sick again. It had a real rough flight. The water was so rough that we'd go down like this, and you'd look up, you see the water up here. We'd come back up, and they'd had a lot of destroyers following us because the water was still on. Some of them didn't know it was over. See, and they were out there. And boy, you see them disappear all the time, way back up, following us all in. See, and I had some greasy food, some kind, in there, and made me sick, made me seasick. Boy, I feel bad for it. Anyway, a bunch of us guys kind of hid out on the way back, and they kept trying to get us for duty, you know, on the boat. They said, "Tucker, where are you?" And I'm sitting up there just grinning like a possum. We didn't say one word. They never did. And we took our names off of the boat, you know, just reared with them. They had their names on there. And we just sat there enjoying ourselves when we got well, you know, and got home, come into New York. Well, we seen New York, and boy, what a sight that was. And we took a ferry right by, guess what, the Statue of Liberty. I looked at that, I'll tell you, tears come down my eyes, and I kind of saying to myself, I looked around, was anybody else crying? He's all crying. We're so glad to get back. Well, if you ever lose your freedom, you'll know what I'm talking about. Couldn't do nothing. Nothing. Took a taxi home to my wife. They all didn't know I was coming yet, but I got there. It was a wonderful feeling. Be back home. That's just part of my story. Is that all okay?
Yeah, great. That was great. What is I hear you wrote a book.
Yeah.
4 Seconds to Live.
4 Seconds to Live.
Want to explain that a little bit?
Well, what I'm just talking about is what you'll see in the book. Mm-hmm. You know, 4 Seconds to Live. That's what I had. 4 seconds before it. Yeah, see. 4 seconds to live.
Show the camera.
4 seconds to live.
Wow.
Okay.
If they want one of these books, they can buy it.
Okay. We'll make sure everybody knows where to get it, too.
Yeah. It's on here. It tells you.
When did you write this? Like right after you got back? Or?
Oh, no. It took 40 years before I didn't even write it because I didn't want to talk about nothing.
Right.
That's how I felt, really. It took me that long. The reason I talked about it is I heard a couple of people talking about, there wasn't any trouble over like the Jews, all them Jews got killed. Said, that's all bunch of bull. All that Holocaust. See, it's in the book. It tells you where I've seen all them, thousands of them dead. Yeah.
It was true.
Yeah. It's all true. You betcha.
That's why it's important to have this, because people have
Yeah.
to hear from
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
the horse's mouth.
And everybody's got this, said they really liked it. It's about my life from 9 years up. Back in the Depression days, you guys don't know about that. You don't know for sure.
My parents know.
They know.
Yeah.
They know.
My dad had a $11 payment to make on his farm. He couldn't make it. He had to lose it. What do you think of that? $11. Because he had his leg cut off, clear up to here by 3 times, and us boys did all the work. You know. Even from 6 years old, I was milking cows. Walked to school 1.5 miles every day. And there's no bus out there.
I have a question for you. I'm going to ask one question here. My mom talks about when she was a kid, they took a boiled egg for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
That's about all you had.
Oh, yeah,
One
yeah.
boiled egg.
Once in a while we'd take, of course, we were lucky enough to have stuff growing, see? Yeah,
On the farm. Yeah.
on the farm. But you know, we kind of like bologna. And we'd trade bologna for chicken now. The kids used to get all that chicken. We'd trade bologna for chicken. Yeah, that was okay. But yeah, it was rough times there. But of course, us kids didn't really know that. We made our own fun, you know. And you could go to, well, you could go to downtown Saturday night in Hannibal for 10 cents for a show. 10 cents. Imagine that. Everything was so cheap. And Mom made butter and sold it for a quarter per pound, 25 cents a pound. Homemade butter. Boy, that was good.
Phil, what did it cost to go to a movie right now?
$9.
Oh, ain't that awful?
$8.
Ain't that something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, it was different. Yeah, I got to working for a farmer in the threshing business. They travel around, different farmers would do it, you know, and get $1. I think I got $1 a day. Yeah, it's like end of the week it was like $6, and I give Mom $3, and I kept $3, and I still had a lot of money. I could have a ball on $3, do a lot, have some left, you know. But yeah, I had a good family, really good family. Mother and Dad were both real good Christian people, you know. They went to church every Sunday, every week. Yep.
Then, back to the war, you said when you was marching one way, they had the Jewish people marching the other way?
Yes, yeah, the ones, yeah. That's in here as, on our march, another group was going one way, we was going the other, and they were all Jews. Skeletons walking.
Yeah.
And then about that time, we seen over here, stacked about as high as to that window there. Their feet, they were packed on their sides, and their feet were good show. And their soles were gone. And all you see was blood. They walked the souls off of them people, and when they died, they throw them here. As far as I could look, I could see them stacked up like a stack of wood, way down the line. And another group was going by us, and they looked terrible. They were grabbing pieces of grass and eating it. You know, no food. Yep, rough. They scare you, boy. They look just like they're going to eat us, mean looking. They've been doing it so much they got real mean anyway, you know. They treated the Jews terrible. Hitler was something else. Yeah, it is. But we got through it.
Yeah.
Got home. Thank the Lord we made it. A lot of us didn't. You know.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing story.
Yeah.
Yeah, to tell.
Yeah. So that's about it, okay?
All right.
Well, thank you very much.